preschool education is critical for toddlers in today's competitive environment. Recognizing this, the chain Shamrock Schools was established by a husband-wife duo to offer holistic development to young minds. Since 1989, these schools have been providing a vibrant and friendly environment and have already touched the lives of over 3 lakh children across India, Nepal and Bangladesh. ET Now's Punita Verma reports.
There aren't many schools that kids cry to go to even on Sundays. Shamrock certainly has changed the definition of a school and altered perceptions. Established in 1989, this chain of pre-nursery and K-12 schools has rewritten the conventions by backing all of its education system with thorough research and development. You have been associated with Shamrock since 27 years. 1989, your parents conceived the brand and you have been there since then. What was your role at the inception of the organization and how has it evolved over 27 years?
Okay, my parents actually started the venture, as you said. So we had just come back from England and my parents realized the difference in preschool education that is being offered in Delhi and what I had gone through in England as a preschool and a primary school child. We started our first preschool with colorful interiors, bright ideas, to have child-centered learning. So people were very skeptical of what kind of teaching is this, what kind of school is this? But it took off very well and the response was good. So I, as a good student, as a good child, was helping my mother wherever I can, giving my ideas, having studied through those preschools so I could share my inputs of why don't we do it this way.
In 2002, you took over as the managing director and I believe that was the beginning of the corporate journey of Shamrock. So after you took over, what all changes did you make to the organization and how did they benefit you in the long run?
So to scale up, we put in a lot of processes. We got an ISO 9001 certification. We built our own software, which still forms the backbone of the whole system. We put in a lot of quality audits processes. So all things were put in so that we could grow and manage that growth as well.
Started by Dr. D.R. Arora and Vimla Arora, the parents of Amol who now heads the organization, Shamrock was the first institution to have adopted the philosophy of alternative education for kids aging 3 to 5. A new fun-filled way of making kids learn struck chord with parents instantly. Shamrock says it was all R&D driven and nothing was experimental. You are expanding at a very fast pace and when you do so, there's a very strong possibility of a trade-off between growth and quality. How are you maintaining the balance between the two?
For us, growth has to go hand in hand with the operational support. So we spend a lot of our time, energy and resources into supporting our branches, right from the setting up of the branch to the recruitment of the school head, to the training of the teachers, to the creation of the research-based curriculum. All these aspects are taken care of by us at the head office.
The company had 3 distinct phases of expansion. Ever since Amol took over in 2002, there has been rapid corporatization of the company. With Meenal's entry into the company, the management and back-end operations are strengthened to support the aggressive marketing and expansion of brand Shamrock. You are the brains behind the concept and philosophy of Shamrock, the institution of education. And you claim that there is a dearth of R&D in education sector. Why would you say so? And if there is such dearth, how are you filling the gap?
Here at Shamrock and Chelmsford, we begin with the child. We do all the research, we find out what are his learning milestones, his developmental milestones, his learning styles, his interests, his questions, and accordingly we frame our curriculum. And that is why it is made to be so interesting that children want to come to Shamrock and Chelmsford even on a Sunday.
The company, along with all its franchisees, registered a revenue of 100 crore rupees this financial year. Making an unprecedented expansion since 2008, Shamrock has set up over 525 branches across India and abroad. The expansion rate was so high that it has even been registered in the Limca Book of Records. With the company looking at faster national as well as overseas expansion, the numbers are only looking up. You have already established yourself as a well-reputed brand in the country, and you have also gone overseas and established few branches there as well. What is the way forward from here?
I think one is, of course, we'll keep growing across the country as well. We see a lot of potential right now. There's a lot of potential. We're also in talks with in different countries as well. So Southeast Asia, Northern Africa are two countries where talks are going on, Sri Lanka as well. So we expect that Brand India will take Brand India forward.
The company essentially works on a franchise model. Amol says that initial brand sharing came uninvited. The franchisees came seeking expertise to establish pre-nursery schools and ended up adopting the brand altogether. But now Shamrock branding does not come easy. The owners are firm on maintaining the replica of their original teaching model. Any deviation may lead to the franchise being stripped of the brand. Basically, you're working on franchise model. What are the pros and cons of adopting such kind of model for an education institution like yours?
We don't call our franchise development as franchise sales, like normally people. We're not selling, we are recruiting. So A is identify the kind of people which will make a franchise successful. So we look at if something does not do well, we pick up and learn from that what could we have known before, done differently so that this do not happen. So whether that location was really outside the city, maybe that city was not ready for a preschool, maybe that person was not built, maybe didn't have the investment. So those things we put as criteria for selection as well. So when we are recruiting franchises, we look at these aspects very critically. That if they don't match up to our standards, we are not scared to say no. And we have a very high rejection rate as well.
In a country where education is only a means to make it big in life, Shamrock has launched a unique initiative to give a right start and better nurturing to children. The company has certainly taken a big leap above the decades-old education system and seems headed in the right direction.